Welcome to the Discover College Gymnastics podcast. If you're a gymnast or parent of a gymnast dreaming of competing in college, you're in the right place. Each week, join me as I talk to college gymnastics and acro and tumbling coaches from across the country. They'll reveal what they look for in a recruit, what it's like to be a college athlete, and they'll talk about what makes their programs unique. All of this is presented in short, easy-to-consume episodes because, believe me, I know you're busy. If you're ready to jumpstart your college gymnastics dreams, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Okay, Coach Grenier, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So we are a couple weeks away from you starting your very first season as a head gymnastics coach at Greenville. What is one thing that you are excited about?
I'm really excited to see just kind of where all of our hard work is going to take us. I know we have some big goals this season and maybe dreaming too big, but I think that's always good to kind of give them something excited and something to work towards. So we had a pretty strong preseason, just kind of implementing some things as I'm new and everything, but kind of getting them back on track, providing some structure. And it seemed to really help. We're obviously, still kind of working out some kinks with new skills, but I think it's exciting that we have new skills to show and all that stuff. So I'm really excited about that and excited to see where some of our depth will take us too. That's been a big thing we've been trying to work on, is just getting more bodies on events. So I'm really excited to have that.
So these are girls that since you're pretty new, you didn't recruit these girls, correct? So these are just kind of like, you've just been given a team and you're just working with it.
Correct. Yep. So we have one freshman. So I did recruit her, but it was later in summer. But everyone else on the team is, brand new to me.
Okay, we'll talk about recruiting in a second. But before we do that, so you were a collegiate gymnast yourself. Maybe you can just talk about a little bit about your club career, what brought you to gymnastics, what did you like about college gymnastics, what were some challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did start in club. My mom actually owns a club gym. So I was coached by my mom and kind of just in that world. Wow. And I didn't originally want to go to college to do gymnastics. I think I was trying to fight going a different path than my mom did, since she was also a college tennis coach. So I was kind of against it and ended up just going and being a student coach actually. And then kind of got re-inspired to do gymnastics and realized how awesome it really was and how the transition from an individual to a team sport was something I wanted to be a part of. So then I ended up training and transferring to Utah State, where I had my gymnastics career, and just really love how gymnastics is in college and how it is so team focused, and you really step out of your own bubble and you're just wanting the best for everyone. Everything the school can provide too, I feel like wherever you're at, and just that kind of networking with friends and just advice from coaches is really helpful. And that's something that's stuck with me. So again, tried to fight coaching after it, but somehow fell into it and very glad I did. I'm super happy with what I'm doing now.
Awesome. Yeah, I always hear about like the difference between club and college. And sometimes if girls, have been in it for so long, so many years of level 10 or whatnot, they kind of feel that stagnation or whatnot and at the end of club, and then they go to college and they're so happy because it's just a totally different environment. Would you say that's true?
Yes, absolutely. It is totally different. You kind of put yourself out of it and you're there working for your team and for your teammates and everything. Yeah. Just the training environment is so different. I mean, in my club gym, we cheered and that kind of stuff, but it's just so different in college, that whole mindset and everything. It really is a whole nother world that I do think is different. So if anyone's hesitant about it, I don't think you'll regret it. Like the friends you'll make, just having the teammates, having that support and everything, and there's really nothing like it.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's talk about recruiting. Speaking of college, and I know you're probably fairly new to, getting your recruits. Have you, can you just maybe walk us through what your recruiting process as you know it right now is like? Like, are you done with 2025s? Are you looking to 2026s? How early or late do you like to recruit?
Yeah, so not completely done with 2025. We do have quite a few spots available for that year, just because the team is still growing and the team is still small. So we're still looking, kind of in the process, finishing that up. Definitely like looking toward 2026. I would say a typical timeline just for our school. Definitely makes sense to have athletes reaching out their junior year. Definitely get back to them, kind of keep them on my radar and everything, but wouldn't really seriously do anything with that until going into summer. That's kind of when we try to see them at a camp, get them out to our camp, kind of do something like that. And then that next fall of their senior year, have them out here for visits and all that kind of stuff. And typically that would be the time where we would start doing initial rounds of offers, trying to get that team put
Okay,
together.
so summer between junior and senior years when you like to see them at camps and whatnot.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And are there like certain skills that you're looking for? I know there's certain skills you're looking for on the mat. So maybe we could talk about those first, and we could talk about other like the other intangible skills that are off the mat. So what are your skills are you looking for on the mat?
Yeah, absolutely. Not really a focus on specific skills, but kind of just meeting our standard of start values that we've set for our team.
Yeah.
Our current team has their lineup standards of a 10 on everything except for vault.
Okay.
And toward the 9-9 range for vault. And that's not to say that we wouldn't look at an athlete if they don't have that. We definitely want to still see where you can progress and everything. And
Yeah.
you don't even have to have competed it necessarily, but just see that you're training that and you're kind of open to working those things that hopefully by the time you get to college and get competing for us, that we'd kind of have those routines put in place to have those start values.
What events do you like to look for, like the strongest athletes? Like I've heard different things, but I mostly hear vault and bars. Is that true for you guys too?
I would say that's true. I would say we get a
Yeah.
lot of people that can contribute on beam and floor, and it is awesome to have depth. But I do think that, vault with that 10 start value being really, really challenging and kind of set to a higher
Yeah.
standard, definitely having people that are pushing that is going to help us. And then just with all the changes on bars, I do think things are getting harder on that event. So that is somewhere that would kind of stand out to us a little bit more than someone who maybe did even two events of the others. Kind of having just a standout on one of those two events would
Yeah.
kind of help separate you a little bit.
Yeah. Cool. And what is your preferred method of athletes to reach out to you? Do you like text? Do you like emails? Do you like them to send you their Instagram?
Yeah. I kind of tell everybody whatever initially, like it'll be an email or DM on Instagram. And then I do give everyone my personal number. I do
Uh,
see text quicker. So I have no problem getting quick text updates of skills and that kind of stuff. I feel like I through those every day. Whereas sometimes my emails, it'll take me a little bit to get back and just look through all of them.
yeah.
So I don't mind text at all. I do also look at stuff with Instagram and everything. I will say, I'm not sure what other people think, but I prefer getting like my personal Instagram tag because I know I'm not always the one logged into my team account. It's
Right.
so assistant coach, the girls if they're doing takeover. So I would say tagging our team and my personal account, I'll definitely see
Okay.
it more that way.
Okay. Got it. Is there anything that a recruit could do to stand out to you in the process, in the whole recruiting process? Not just like on DMs or whatever, but in the whole recruiting process, what makes you think like, yeah, I really want her. She's going to be awesome for our team.
Yeah. I would say just with initial communication, I think the more is the better. I always tell people like caution on the air of overwhelming them with information because it's,
Yeah.
that's sometimes better to know if for sure I know you're interested. It's kind of hard when I'm kind of
Right.
questioning, like, oh, yeah, you initially reached out, haven't heard from you in a while. So just kind of hearing from them more, just expressing their interest is helpful. And then, if they do have a chance to come out to a camp or on a visit or anything, like I do take feedback from my own girls. They often host them and stuff. So I do take that feedback of, yeah, they were super outgoing. They seem to love it. They, just kind of being like welcoming. And obviously I try to tell my girls to be as welcoming as possible to make them feel at home. So, but it's nice hearing like, we love them. I feel like they fit in. They were super
Yeah.
outgoing. They were open and stuff. So I know it is definitely intimidating, I'm sure, walking into a group of college girls and trying to make
Yeah.
conversation and everything, but that
Yeah.
kind of stuff does definitely stand out. And I hear it from my girls too. And then they get excited that, their future teammate was out there and so personable with them. So I think that would be a big one.
It is stressful, but I think that girls just have to realize like if it's a fit, it's a fit because you can't force something that's not a fit and you want someone you're going to be spending so many hours with them. You definitely want to gel with them and click with them. These are your teammates for the next 4 years, so it's really important. Let's see. What role do you see parents playing in the recruiting process, if any?
I will say it kind of differs. There are times I've talked to a parent. It's typically on the phone call with with the actual recruit. It's
Yeah.
never really been separately. But I mean, obviously when they're on visits, we do sit down, we'll go to dinner and I make sure I'm talking to the parents as well and kind of let
Yeah.
the girls, talk to the recruits and everything. So I would say it's definitely helpful to kind of get their questions out of the way on the call as well. But I don't typically have parents like reaching out on their own.
Yeah. That would probably not be good. You probably want to talk to the athlete themselves, right?
Right.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your school. A lot of people might not be familiar with Greenville, and I was looking it up and I just realized that you guys aren't too far from Effingham, which is where I have some relatives. It's like an hour away. So
Yes,
I'm like,
it.
okay, that's my point of contact. And you're not too far from St. Louis either, right?
Nope, we're right outside of about 45 minutes.
Okay, so what are some cool things about your school that we might not know just by going to the website or looking at a brochure?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for one, from the student athlete perspective, our school is made up of over 60% student athletes. So they really do operate for
Cool.
student athletes. I mean, the tutoring hours are done from like 7 to 9 p.m. just to make sure everyone's done with practice and all that stuff. Class sizes are small, so teachers will get to know you and help you when you are traveling, keep caught up with your homework and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
they really just operate for the benefit of student athletes, which is different than other places I've been where there's such a large just general student population.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And then I will say too, like when I tell everyone, oh, we're in Illinois, they immediately assume it's cold and windy and everything. It's really nice here, actually. I
Southern
tell
Illinois is completely different, you know?
so different. Yes, I tell everyone I'm like, I'm almost closer to Nashville than I am Chicago. So don't
Yeah.
think of Chicago weather. It's
Yeah.
really nice here. We still get all four seasons, but it's not crazy what anyone thinks. And I do think the campus also, it is really pretty, especially in the fall. It's really
Yeah.
pretty and it is kind of compact, but everything's walkable. It still feels like a college campus, but it's a nice small size where it's totally manageable to get to and from your classes. And, all the dorms and stuff are surrounding the area, which is really nice.
Are all your facilities where you practice and are they all on campus or off campus?
They're considered campus, but they're about 3 or 4 minutes away. So they kind of have the
Okay.
school and classes in one area, and then they have most of athletics kind of out. They have
Got
like
it.
the football field there, the training room, the weight room, all that stuff kind of in a different area. But it's only about 3, 4 minutes from the main campus.
Okay, cool. And during the season, which is coming up, what would a typical week look like for your athletes as far as, practice, school, weight training, tutoring, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. So in season, depending on what day the meet is, if it's like a Friday or Saturday, we'll typically practice about 3 days then.
Okay.
They'll still have off one of the days. So if it's like a Friday meet, we'll have Monday, Tuesday practice, off Wednesday, like practice Thursday before the meet.
Okay.
They'll do weights one day a week as long as it makes sense with our schedule and everything. If not, we're okay kind of dropping that if we need to for this semester. We really try to hit it hard in the fall so that we can kind of back off in the
Yeah.
spring. Um, they do have tutoring opportunities at night. We also have study hall. It's just 2 hours a week, and it's for freshmen, new students, and then based off your last semester's GPA, if we feel like that might be helpful to you. So they do
Okay.
that. We sometimes have it, we'll have it during the regular week, unless if we're traveling and we're kind of away at the hotel for a while, we'll try to make time there to also get that study hall hours in.
Okay.
And
Cool.
yeah, that's about their week.
All right, awesome. And how do you feel like your athletes handle like the balance between school and, I mean, you only have one freshman, right? So sometimes that's a little bit harder, but most of your girls are older. But how do you think they handle the balance between gymnastics and academics and just like being away in general to a new
Yeah.
place?
hmm They honestly, they've adjusted really well. I would say a lot of them too, just kind of hearing how their freshman year went and everything. I'm so sorry.
Aw, so cute.
No, they said the adjustment actually was well. The school really does help them. And I think coming into an environment where the class sizes are smaller, you actually get to know
Okay.
your teachers. That is super helpful. I know for me, I went to a bigger college and I can definitely just, you can kind of blend into the back of the classroom and withdraw a little bit. And it's hard to
Yeah.
keep track if you have 200 students. So it is nice. The teachers do a lot for them here as well. And then just kind of with our gym hours, we practice in the afternoon. So they have the whole morning to get their class schedules done. And they're really only doing maybe 2 or 3 classes a day. So they definitely are able to manage that. And then with the tutoring available late at night, they don't ever feel like they're kind of missing out on opportunities that other students might have.
Do you guys usually practice like after class in the afternoon, kind of like similar to club, like after school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do go in the afternoon. Since it is a smaller school, they don't have as many teachers, so they can't really shuffle around classes too much. But
Right.
most of them are in the morning, and then we'll practice in the afternoon.
Okay. Let's talk about money a little bit. You don't have to give me any hard, fast numbers, but I know you're I know you're Division 3 school, so academic scholarships only. What is a typical, how do you determine financial aid? What's a typical like financial aid package look like for an incoming athlete?
Yeah, absolutely. So our school does the academic scholarships based off of a tier system. So if you're
Okay.
coming out of high school with around a 3.6 or higher, you're going to get that full tier package that they'll provide, which is roughly around 50% of your school paid for.
Okay.
Um, from then on, it's about 3.3 or higher, you get the next lower package, which is a couple $1,000s left. And then below a 3.0 is a couple $1,000s left. So it kind of goes down from there. But all my athletes came out of high school with that. So they all got at least that base package, which is a 50%. And then on top of that, you can apply for different merit scholarships and stuff like that. So we have girls that did that. We also have things called Scholarship Day. Our school puts on twice a year where you can come and you can do like meetings and interviews and kind of join these little groups and stuff, and you leave with something. So everyone leaves with some type of financial compensation going toward their school. Other little ways, if you come out here on a visit, whether it's with gymnastics, just to see the school on your own, whatever, they'll give you $500 every year toward your tuition as like a thank you for coming on a visit. So
that's so
there
awesome.
are a bunch of little ways that you can, kind of help support that. And then obviously your normal FAFSA, like any other school, I would recommend filling one out. But I would say on the team is 50%, if not more, of their school paid for.
Okay. Not bad. That's awesome. Let's talk about you a little bit. What would you say your coaching style is like? What kind of a culture? I mean, this is a blank slate for you. So what is like the overall culture that you're trying to build at Greenville?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I like things very structured, but I think it's helpful for the girls. I think especially with gymnasts, they like having that structure and organization. I give them their assignments for the whole week so they can kind of plan and expect what they're going to do. So we're really upfront about that. As well as just in the gym too, I'm definitely someone that will work through things with you, but as long as you're having, good attitude, good energy, and the things that you can control, we can work through whatever with the gymnastics. That's not going to always come in at 100 every single day, but we really talk about controlling the things that you can control and creating that positive environment for everyone else to succeed too. So that would be a big one, and definitely trying to continue a culture of this adaptability. When you come to college, you're maybe training new events or new skills, you have different coaches and different teammates. So really kind of embracing that experience and coming in and being adaptable, being a good team player, and all that stuff is really things that we're trying to push this year.
Yeah. And who do you have helping you, if anybody? Like, are there certain events that you like to coach more than others? Do you have an assistant coach helping you?
So last semester, we have actually the men's head coach. He was helping out a little bit because he's took over last year. Okay. So he's helping out. He comes in, just will watch when we're on like floor and vault, because we typically split up into 2 events. I still assignment plan for those events just because I'm there with them at every practice and I can be at every competition. But he comes over for that. And then we do have a volunteer coach this semester that is going to be full-time with us. So that's been really helpful just to, kind of have just more eyes everywhere. It's
absolutely
everything and be able to correct everything. So that's been really helpful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You have been so generous with your time. I know you are probably crunch time now. Like next week is your first meet, right? Is it this Saturday? Next Saturday?
Next Saturday. Yep.
So awesome. Awesome. Before we go, what would be the best advice that you would have in the recruiting process for aspiring college gymnasts?
Yeah, I would say definitely, if you have hesitations about something, still go see it. You really never know till you get on the campus, till you're talking to those coaches in person, till you're meeting those girls. You can only see so much online and from talking to a coach over the phone. So if you even are questioning it, go see it. You might end up falling in love. So definitely just look at all of your options. Don't close anything off because you never know what might just hit you in the face and, feel like home.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and best of luck this season. I'll be cheering for you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Discover College Gymnastics. For the full episode transcript, show notes for the episode, and links to all of our social media, visit our website at discovercollegegymnastics.com. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time as we sit down with another coach for an inside look at the world of college gymnastics.